It's stuck.
Today's episode, we take you through how we removed all of these lifters that were rusted in. And we take you through the process of how we took this boat anchor of a motor that the cylinders and pistons were rusted and solid to getting this to happen. You're not going to want to miss this. This is epic. This is exciting. This engine is ready to be torn apart.
So many said it couldn't be done, and we just proved it can.
Taking on projects that others deem beyond repair.
This is my car's shop.
One of the biggest concerns I had when we tore this engine down, when Chris and Ray were here, when we started to tear the engine down, I should say, was how stuck and rusty the lifters are in the lifter bores. Today we're going to see if we can get those broke loose. I've been soaking them with Croil now, and we're going to see if we can get the lifters to break loose and begin the process of removing those. It's a tedious process because we can break a lifter bore, we could crack the galley, and then the whole thing is junk. So we're going to gently and carefully see what we can do to get the lifters to move and begin the process of removing them. I'm suspecting that some of these are going to move a little bit. We're using this product called Croil, and it's expensive. It's $27 plus tax for this product, but it's supposed to be about the best stuff on earth. So I probably used a quarter of a can between the pistons and the lifters here. And we'll see what we can do. All right, I'm just going to start at this end. Oh, is that a crusty, rusty mess there? Whew. Nope. 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 Dang. Oh, that one went. Oh, that was easy. Let's see if we can get that one out of there. My guess is it's got all kinds of rust on the bottom side, so we'll have to grab that with something. There we go, one. Yeah, she had some lifter wear. I think these are solid lifters. Okay, well, there's one. In a normal engine, of course, we would be concerned about keeping these in order if we were going to reuse them, but, oh, that one came loose. Good. Well, I'm feeling a little more hopeful about all of this. There's another one. Oh, that one's tighter than the tight thing. Put a little lube-a-doober on that one. Just trying to get some lube-a-doober in there, loosen it up a little bit. Hopefully I can get the vices on that one. I can. There we go. Well,
Sweet victory in Jesus. We got 3 of them out.
so we got these last 3 here out. I wonder if we took and kind of tapped down in here. Yes. Very good. Don't care if we screw up the cam. Very good. Very good. So we got 4 out of the 8 on that side so far. Of course, this one isn't out yet, but once it starts moving. There we go. Just trying to drive a wedge down between the cam lobe and the lifter to get it to pop up. There we go. Very good. There we go. It's going to be a lot of lather, rinse, and repeat. Just busted off the tip of my screwdriver. Dang it. We're going to try a little impact on the camshaft bolt here. The cam did turn. We'll see if we can make it turn more. Oops, that's the wrong socket. Oh, this is cool. You got to see this. The camshaft is turning and it's pushing this lifter up. Maybe it'll do that to another one too. Yeah! That worked. Would never have been able to do that with all of them, that's for sure. But because I got most of them broke loose, now they all moved. So we'll go through and get all of these out of here now. I got all but 4 of them out, which means there must have been a lot more moisture back here in the engine, but they're all out. These are all loose. So one thing I'm wondering is if I drove them down into the bottom of the engine instead of having them, you know, try to take them up this way, because it might be easier to just put a drift in there and just pound them down. My question is, will I be able to get them out of there? My answer is I should be able to, even if I have to use a magnet and walk them either out the back of the block or out the front of the block. So that may be the next step we take. I'd like to get the cam out, and yeah, I don't think I feel like messing with the cam plug, although it would be easier to pound them down and then take them out here. But they might fall through the rod and the piston and the crank down there. I don't know, but I can't guarantee that. My big concern is they fall down in there and wedge. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a thing, so we'll see. But let's see if we can maybe blast that cam out of there and see what we can do to get these back 4 out. Obviously on this engine, I really don't give a crap about anything in it except for the block. So I'm removing things in ways that I wouldn't normally do on an engine that I was rebuilding or trying to salvage bearings or anything like that. So what the hell's got us holding up here? There we go. Oh, I see. It's those. It was the lifters back there weren't up quite far enough, and they were bumping on the cam lobes. And of course, I'm just trashing these cam bearings, and I don't care. And yeah, that cam is rustier than a rusty thing. So there's that. Well, it looks like those lifters might fall if they go that way. It looks like they might clear down through there. Yeah, there's a big hole there, so we should be able to get them down. Let's try one and see what happens. I'm really thinking they weren't coming up because the bottom of the lifter down here was just so rusty. It was having a hard time coming up through the bore. There's 3. Oh, of course, you had to go that way, didn't you? All right, well, we can spin the engine upside down and move that one. Let's get this one out. There's 3. All right, got to get a light over here and see where that other one is. There they are. They all fell out. So we are good. All of our lifters are out. Hopefully we can clean these bores up and everything will be good. They should be good. I don't see it being a big problem. So you never know, but that's why we get blocks checked and all that stuff. So one more victory. Of course, the next thing is going to be breaking these pistons loose. So I'm going to mop up the coil that's in here, and I got a special tool over there. Let me just show you what we're going to do. So I've used this before. It's just a big chunk of aluminum, and I've actually used this to break loose a 440 one time. And I'm picking the rustiest cylinder in the hopes that that's the only one that's stuck. And I'm not going to get carried away. Again, I don't care about pistons. I don't care about rods. I don't care about the crank. I'm trying to salvage the block. I'm going to use my sledge, which in this case is a splitting maul because my sledgehammer is standing in a corner around here somewhere and I'm not finding it. So we're just going to tap this down and see what happens. Yes! This, boys and girls, is victory. Look at that right there. See that? It moved. The engine is starting to break loose. Yep, definitely. That one same way, see? We got some rust showing up there. That is awesome. And I put that wrench on the crank there at the last. And so what's happening is I think it's rotating this way as I'm pounding on these pistons. And then when I put the wrench on it, it moves. So we're going to put alignment marks on here. I'm going to tap on it some more. And we're going to put alignment mark on there and be sure that I'm not being delusional. All right, this is just for relativity. I don't have anything really easily that I can put a mark. I could put one there. Hold on, let me cut my marker. In here. It's not ideal, but it's something. Okay, so there's our mark. Let's see if we, I mean, I know it moved. I know 100% it moved, but. 100%. Pretty sure. It might be hard for you to see because it's shaking so bad. We've moved that piston about 1/4 of an inch. That's awesome. Yep, definitely. Of course, the ones coming up are a little bit more of a challenge than the ones going down. But we are going to have success getting this apart. So as long as the bores are good, don't get me wrong, it's going to be one hell of a job of work getting this apart. But the fact that it's moving is exciting. So let's put the wrench on that crank again and see if we can like turn it back. But I'm going to put some doobie-dauber around all the cylinders before we do that. I'll be a son of a gun. She's loose, boys. I'm as giddy as a schoolgirl right now. I've broke them loose before using this thing. I mean, it was when we got done tearing it apart when Chris and Ray were here, things were a little better than I expected. Those lifter bores really had me concerned, obviously. The cylinders were, except for the one, which was really bad. But, Chris went through and cleaned all those up, and I'm just speechless. Kudos, and I'm not sponsored by this. If you need to break something loose, spend the money and buy this Croyle. Yeah, it's $30 for a can. I am impressed. I really am impressed with that product. And this has only been soaking for about 24 hours with the Croyle. I had been soaking one bank with engine oil and PV blaster and some gasoline when it was still in the back room. But the reason we got on this thing was because I need to start getting cars put away for the winter, and the back room was full of building materials and this engine all in pieces and so forth. And my goal today for this episode was simply to try to get those lifters out, which that went better than I expected. And I thought, well, I'm just going to start, and I'll start sharing with you the process of what I planned to do over the next couple of months, which is put that block of aluminum in and beat it with the sledgehammer, or in this case, my splitting maul.
Not my shopping mall.
And all of a sudden, I could feel the difference in the blow. It was like it was softer. It wasn't such a hard blow. And I looked and I could see just a little bit of a movement. So I went around a couple more and then put the wrench on it. And I was watching the crank and I thought, oh my goodness, that thing moved just ever so slightly. So that's when we came back with you and put marks on it, and you were kind of watching, but the whole thing was moving around. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to save the disassembly, the rest of the cylinder cleanup I'm going to go ahead and do more cleanup now that I can move this around. There's a huge rust ring in a couple of these, and I want to either take the wire brush or I might even take some sandpaper or an old crappy hone that I have and try to get that out of there as much as possible, because I just don't want to get a piston part way out and then end up putting a deep super gouge in the cylinder. But I am thrilled beyond measure. There has been some criticism saying, why would you even mess with that boat anchor, boat motor, whatever. That old boat anchor, it's not worth it, it's blah, 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 blah. I don't think people always realize when we say
Taking on projects that others would deem beyond repair.
just how deep that goes, just how real that is. I know most people probably wouldn't have messed with this, but I enjoy the challenge. Can I do it? Can I get this thing broke loose? The 440 that I did wasn't nearly this bad, and probably about the same amount of work. It's I watch a lot of will it run stuff on TV, and I watch a lot of people trying to free up stuck engines and get them running. Would this run? Oh, of course not. Good Lord, no. That's not even remotely on my radar. But I see people struggle to get engines broke loose because they're using big blocks of wood. And the reason I like the aluminum is because a block of wood absorbs a tremendous amount of energy and doesn't transmit that energy. This aluminum absorbs some energy, but not a lot. And it transmits more energy down to those pistons, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't see any damage on the pistons at all from that. Not that I care. I'm not going to use them. I don't plan on using the crank unless I get it out of here, and it is a left-hand rotation forge crank. I'm not going to bother using that crank. The rods, I may or may not use them, probably not for the direction I'm going, unless there's some supercalifragilisticexpialidocious rod that I get out of there and go, oh my goodness, these rods are good for 2,000 horsepower. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I really appreciate you guys, all the love, the support, the encouragement, everything that you donate to the channel, the money, the parts, the perspectives, the technical expertise, the help for the guys that live in the area and that come out and help. I can't emphasize enough, I couldn't do it without you. I appreciate y'all. We're over on Facebook, /My Car Shop. We're on the Insta thing, /My Car Shop. Of course, we're here on YouTube, /My Car Shop. Hit subscribe, hit that bell, receive notifications, you know, all the stuff that you're asked to do when you watch a YouTube channel. And there's one more thing that we always do around here. If you're new to the channel, it's important, and I never want you to forget.
Rock!